everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming the unpopular opinions tag. This tag was created quite a while ago and I've seen so many variations of it, but I'll link the original video down below in my description box so that you guys can take a look. I think it's such a great idea for a tag and I've wanted to do it for a long time. I feel like I have a lot of unpopular opinions when it comes to booktube and this community, and I really want to talk about them and see if anybody else has the same ideas as me. So without further ado, let's just get on into the questions. So the first question is to name a book that is a popular book or series that you didn't like. And this one right off the bat is going to get all of the hate right off the bat. And that book for me is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, aka the first book in the Folk of the Air series. So I went into this book 3 times. I've tried to read this book 3 times. I tried listening to the audiobook, I tried reading the physical book. It was one of my most anticipated books ever. I love Holly Black, I love fairy stories, I love the fae, I love fantasy, I love all of those aspects. I did not like this book at all. I was bored. I got like 3/4 of the way through and literally nothing had happened. It was the same thing happening every single day for Jude. I didn't like Jude either really to begin with, for one thing. I thought she was very annoying. And I usually like the unlikable characters. First of all, I don't even, actually now I think about it, I don't even think she's supposed to be unlikable, but whatever, I didn't like her. I hated Carden. I thought he was an absolute dick. I don't get how people like him so much. Like, he's horrid to her. He humiliates her for fun. Like, he takes so much pleasure in hurting other people that I don't understand how anybody likes him or how anybody ships them together. Like, he's a horrid character and I really dislike him. The only character I liked in this entire thing was Maddox, because Maddox didn't try to be anybody other than like what he was. He was very open about what he was and what he wanted, and I found that refreshing because everybody else was so frustrating. But I couldn't finish this book. I DNF'd it. I don't do that often, so I was very disappointed in this book and I won't be reading the rest of them. Finally, after like 3 attempts to get through it, I went and looked up the ending to see what happened, to see what everybody was still going all on about, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I wasn't impressed. I was very sad. Very sad about how much I didn't like this book. So you can go on and hate me in the comments if you want, but I just am not a fan. Not a fan. Yeah. Sorry about that. The second question is name a book or series that everybody else seems to hate but you love. So I didn't have a ton of series that like I knew there was like genuine hate for that I enjoyed, but one that seems to get a lot of slack, especially in the booktube community, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I love this series so much. You guys probably know this already. People like critique it as being very problematic, but I mean everything that people talk about being problematic, in my opinion, has been resolved in the series. As the series has gone on, it's grown definitely from what it started off being, and I feel like a lot of the opinions that come out are of people who haven't read the whole thing, I guess, and are just basing it off of like first impressions of a character. I love the main character. I think she's strong. I think she's independent, which a lot of people talk about, like her not being independent and her being like controlled by the men in her life, which I think is like crap. Selena in this series is so independent and so driven to her cause, and she'll do whatever she wants to reach her goals and to make her life a better situation, and I love that about her. People say that she's like bitchy or whatever and like an unlikable character, but I love that about her. Like, I do. I love it. It's real. It's like, she's not perfect, which I think a lot of people tend to put characters up like on a pedestal and say that they're perfect, and if they have any like flaws, especially female characters, they kind of like shoot them down. I love her. She's like, she says what's on her mind. She has gone through very many like tons of hardships in her past, and so I think she has a right to be a little cynical about the world. And I find it refreshing. I love her so much and I love this series so much. It's taken over my life since I first read it. I think Sarah J. Maas is a great writer. I think her plots are fantastic. I think her characters are great, and I'm in love with this series. So the third prompt is a little bit different. It is to name a book in which there was a love triangle where the main character ended up with someone you didn't like, or to talk about a ship that you don't like. I'm gonna go with the ship that I don't like because I don't really tend to read many stories with love triangles, and if I have, they ended up with who I wanted them to end up with. So I've already mentioned it in a previous question, but I hate Jude and Carden being shipped together. I know I haven't finished the series, but I know what happens. I think psychologically he has a very big problem with enjoying watching other people in pain and being humiliated. I think that's not a good quality to have, and not somebody that I think you should be shipping with a person that you consider to be like strong and a good female lead. I don't support that in any sense of the world. But another ship that I really dislike is a ship surrounding the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. I hate people who ship Alina with the Darkling. In the same situation as Jude and Cardan, the Darkling is horrid. I think I saw a thread on Twitter that made a lot of sense to me that I think a lot of people who ship the Darkling and Alina don't realize. The Darkling puts a collar on Alina in order to control her. Like, that right off the bat should shoo everybody away from the Darkling. I know people have a lot of hate on Mal, but I think he is such a great love interest for Alina. I think people are forgetting that these are teenagers and that teenagers have emotions. Teenagers feel jealousy. Teenagers are going to act out, and that's exactly what Mal does. Mal is a very realistic teenager, finding out that his best friend and the woman that he grows to love is being potentially taken away from him, and people are going to act out in that situation, especially teenagers. Find out that somebody who your entire life you've always had by your side, and then seeing them kind of taken away and turning into a person that you never thought they were, that's going to be jarring. Like, and he takes, by the end of it, Mal is so supportive, and he is going to stay by her side even if she does continue on with where she's going, and I think that is such a great quality. He just wants her to be her. Like, he doesn't want her for power, he doesn't want her for status like many other love interests. He just wants Alina for Alina, and I think that makes him such a genuine character, and I love him so much. But I hate the Darkling. Like, god damn it, I hate the Darkling so much. Number 4 is a popular genre that you hardly ever reach for, and for me that is definitely contemporary. I have barely any contemporary on my shelf. I actually don't even think I have any. I'm really not a fan of contemporary. I used to be. Like, Sarah Dessen was my favorite author when I was like 14. I used to enjoy John Green books, but on reflection I really don't like them, and I've unhauled all the John Green books that I used to have on my shelf. I've heard a lot of great things about like Becky Albertalli or Adam Silvera, and I recommend those books to a bunch of my friends that enjoy contemporary, but it's just not for me. If there were more contemporary that was written in like college, university like settings, maybe I'd go for it, but it's not what I enjoy reading. I enjoy fantasy, I enjoy sci-fi, I enjoy dystopia. I enjoy anything not set in the real world, so, and if it is set in the real world, it's like historical fiction or like thrillers. But contemporary, I will never pick up a contemporary book. I can pretty much guarantee that. At least not for the foreseeable future, and I haven't for a long time, so. Number 5 is name a popular or beloved character that you do not like, and I'm definitely going to go with Severus Snape from Harry Potter. I hate Snape. I hate Snape so much. A problem that I have with people who really romanticize and put Snape up on a pedestal is the fact that they're overlooking that he has tormented children for his entire life. Not just Harry Potter, and not just out of a 20 or so year grudge that he's holding about a kid who wasn't nice to him. I think people are forgetting that he himself was not a good person at Hogwarts. He dabbled in the dark arts. He outwardly admitted and talked about how he wanted to be a Death Eater when he got out of Hogwarts. He called Lily a mudblood. He helped in the attack of Lily's friend Mary. Because she was a mudblood or a Muggleborn, he continued that behavior for his entire life. Just because you love someone doesn't make them a good person. Like, just because you find out this person's capable of love does not make them a good person, and it doesn't erase all of the horrible things they've done in the rest of their lives. Like, Snape spent his entire teaching career tormenting children if they weren't in Slytherin. I don't understand how people can like adore a character that does that. I understand that the twist at the end of Deathly Hallows like made people like view him in a different way and was like, oh my god, so shocking, but that doesn't mean he's a good person. I don't know, I really dislike Snape. I think he's been a bully his entire life, and I don't think that was redeemable with you finding out that he's in love with Lily. I don't think that worked, and I don't get it. Question number 6 is to name a popular author you just can't get into, and for me, I'm gonna go with Cassandra Clare. I read the Mortal Instruments series back when I was in high school, or just about to enter high school. I was 14 years old, and I just couldn't get into it. I didn't know why, and I'm in the middle of rereading this series because I want to move on to Cassandra Clare's other works because I think I'd enjoy them more. I just currently finished City of Bones a couple nights ago, and I don't know, I enjoyed it, but there's still something about it that just doesn't click with me. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna push through the Mortal Instruments because I really think, based off of the other descriptions, that I'd love the Infernal Devices series. And I think that will, as soon as I get to Cassandra Clare's more recent works, I think I can really start to enjoy her, because I've heard that her writing style and her writing ability has really grown over the years. So I have high hopes, but it's still not quite there yet. Number 7 is to name a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. So I'm not going to go with the typical like Lost Princess or Chosen One or love triangles, because to be honest I love all of those. Those are my favorite tropes, but the one that really gets me is any type of like girl hate. That can either be like a rivalry put between two girls specifically, in which they try and tear each other down in order to get the prize, whether it be a boy or another love interest or a position or anything like that. I hate it when girls are pit against each other. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's tacky, and I think it's way overused. I also hate like the trope of I'm not like other girls and so that makes me better. I hate that so much. I hate the not like other girls type situation. I think it's again way overplayed, very unrealistic, because like you can't just chalk girls up into one category and like anybody who deviates from that is all of a sudden better because they're not girly. I think it just perpetuates all the stereotypes about femininity, and like I think it just sets women back decades. It does nothing to help get rid of any female stereotypes, and I think it's unnecessary and way overplayed. Number 8 is to name a popular book or series that you have no intentions of reading. So I've got 2 for this one. One of them is another contemporary series that is very much beloved in the book community that I just don't have any interest in, and that is the Lara Jean series by Jenny Han, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and its sequels. Again, I'm not into contemporary, I just don't like it, and so I don't think I'd get anything from this. I like the idea of it, and I enjoy watching other people talk about it because I can tell that it's very beloved. I plan on watching the movie on Netflix because I don't mind those movies, but I really don't like the books, and I don't really want to ruin the idea I have of it by reading it and not enjoying it, so I'm gonna pass on To All the Boys I Loved Before. The other series that I have no interest in reading is kind of surprising if you know what I like to read, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I heard about this a while ago and I wanted to read it before I discovered BookTube or anything like that. When the first book came out, I thought it looked interesting, but that's because I thought it was like a horror book, and when I found out what it was about, I just kind of like deflated a little bit because I had such an idea of it that I thought was really cool, and just since then I just don't really have any interest in reading it, unfortunately. And finally, number 9, the saying goes that the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation did you enjoy better than the book? So for me, I'm gonna go with the Vampire Diaries. I started watching the Vampire Diaries the day it started. I had heard about it and I thought it was a great idea. I was in my mid Twilight obsessive stages, so yeah, I heard vampires and I just like latched onto it, and I was an avid watcher of the Vampire Diaries for the first like 6 seasons or something. I watched it every single night as soon as it came out. I was very excited about it and I loved it. And then the summer after the show started, I bought all the books and I brought them to the cottage to read, and they were very different from the TV show, obviously, but I preferred the TV show. I don't know why. I don't remember anything from the book series, like couldn't tell you anything that happened in it, but I really didn't enjoy the books. I don't know if it's because I saw the movie or the TV show first, and that was the first impression that I got, but I enjoyed the way that they went with the TV show better than I think if they had tried to do the book series. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. In the comments below, let me know if you've read any of the books that are on my list, or if you have any unpopular opinions yourself about these books. Let me know if there's anybody else out there that feels this way. Also, if there are any books on this list that I said that I liked that you critique, let me know what you think about it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. My videos come out every Wednesday and Friday. And I hope you guys have a lovely day.